Hey, good morning, guys. I got a couple minutes here. Huddled up in the corner. I got metal chips all over me. I'm at work, as you can tell, at the machine shop. I've been getting a question, and I had a lot of people asking me, how do I keep my level steady? I'll be honest, the biggest thing to keeping your levels steady is honestly knowing what spikes them. I had a problem a couple weeks ago where every day my sugar was spiking. I didn't know why. At first I thought it's because I wasn't eating. Then I thought it was because of dawn phenomenon. And what dawn phenomenon is, basically when you get up and get moving, your liver dumps glucose to your body so that you have energy to make it through the day. You know, your liver's trying to help you out. Now, as diabetics, we don't want the help. But who are you to tell your liver what to do? You get what I'm saying? But I thought it was dawn phenomenon. I thought it was because I didn't eat anything. And then what I ended up doing, I took all my information, all my screenshots, and I verified everything, analyzed everything, and I realized, wait, Monday, everyth's cool. My sugar starts going up around 6 o'clock. It peaks at like 160, 170 at 6 a.m. and then starts going down till like 2:30. It goes back to normal and stays there until the next morning. Tuesday, same deal. Wednesday, same deal. So I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, oh, it's definitely dawn phenomenon. But then I look at Saturday. Saturday, I wake up, my sugar's around 100, 110. It stays there all day. I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, it doesn't move. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. All day, it stays there. Same thing Sunday. And that's when it dawned on me, what's different between Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday? There's only literally one difference. It's not my diet, it's not anything, but what it is work. And I looked at the pattern, and the days that I went to work is when my sugar was spiking. Literally until about a half an hour after I got home, and then my sugar dropped again. So the whole time my sugar was spiking, it was because of workplace stress. Which, I won't get into that, but yeah, I see why. I get why. I understand why, And figuring that out is what allowed me to be able to start controlling the spikes. I started trying to cut down on the stress, make sure I get good sleep the night before. I just tried a whole bunch of things until the spike wasn't as huge. It's still a spike. See, what happens is when you get stressed out about anything, your body reacts by releasing cortisol, which is like the fight or flight, adrenaline type hormone. And when it releases that, your heart starts to beat faster, your inhalations speed up. And what it was used for our whole lives, or like, think of cavemen, when they would get into a dangerous situation, see a dinosaur, their heart would start to beat faster, their breath would speed up, and that's so they could prepare for either fight or flight. If they're going to run, their heart's pounding, their blood's pumping, so they can get away. Same reason if they're going to fight. So that's the whole little basic history on what cortisol in the fight or flight is about, what it's for. But it also happens with just everyday stress. That's not something you can really control. I literally showed my charts, and said, look at this. This is what you guys are doing to me. I was half joking around, but I was also being serious because they had me in a bad situation at the time. And I had one of my bosses actually tell me, oh, stress is all in your head. Bro, wait. What do you mean stress? It's all in my head. But, you know, the main point of the video is if I had never sat down and analyzed that information I got from my CGM, then I would have never figured out why it was spiking. And I'd be trying to treat random things. Oh, it must be because I'm not eating. And I'm forcing myself full of food I don't need. Or maybe it's because I ate too much and then I'm killing myself not eating. Go to work, not eating. Then my sugar's spiking higher because my poor liver's saying, you don't have enough energy, man. You need more energy. Here's some more glucose. Here, have some more glucose. So you can get yourself into a vicious cycle if you don't sit down and look at the signs first. That's number one. So if you notice, if you could keep a notebook with you, or just maybe a little voice memo on your phone, every time you spike, just make a note of it. Okay, it's 2 o'clock, I spiked to 180. Me and my girlfriend just had gotten into a big argument. Pretty sure I know why my sugar spiked. But write it down just so you can keep track of it. Oh, I ate something for lunch. It made me feel really sick. I noticed my sugar spiked. Illness will spike. There's a lot of things that'll spike you besides food. And, you know what I mean? Dawn phenomenon is one of those. Stress is one of those. Sickness, illness, dehydration is one of those. No sleep, bad sleep, waking up all night throughout the night is one of those. If you can pinpoint what it is, then you can work on getting rid of the spikes. Because the name of the game isn't getting the lowest number you can, If you look at your CGM for the day and you're at 80, and then, 2 hours later you're at 170, and then it's back down to 95, and then an hour later it's up to 150. Yeah, you were down to 80, you were down to 90, but when you have those roller coasters like that, that's what's damaging your body. That's what's putting all that pressure, stress on your veins, your circulatory system. So, steady is always better than low. You know what I mean? If you could ride around 110 to 130 all day, that's better than having an 80, a 90, a 95 mixed in with those extreme highs. So, that's the lesson for the day. Lesson for the day is basically figure out what your spikes are. By figuring them out, you can work on eliminating them. And second, steady is always better than low. This is Ben Schultz, and another diabetes talk from Systems for Over Symptoms. And check me out at www.dropinsulin.com. Thank you.